Okay, let me just show you this clip to establish a baseline. It's honestly inexcusable. But that being said, my excuse is that I was confused and you can't hold it against me. Okay? This is just embarrassing. I thought that Sticky Bobs were the cure-all end-all for all bosses, okay? I didn't mean to throw it at myself. So yeah, I made a video being bad at Hunt Showdown. People left me comments telling me how to get better. In this video is me listening to them and putting what they suggested to the test. Now that being said, you know, I can't work miracles. It's not like I went from 0 to hero freaking 6 MMR in the span of 4 days, but there are some notable improvements that I'll tell you about, and maybe you can notice some yourself. Either way, I suggest you watch the video that I posted last week, which should be available in the upper right or upper left or somewhere on this screen. You can figure it out. I want to get into the most suggested thing that people wanted me to try, which is Soul Survivor mode. And I understand why they wanted me to try this. There's a plethora of reasons why this was perfect for my development, and why a lot of people would probably feel similar about it. As I mentioned in the previous video, I'm a little bit directionally impaired, so I didn't even know what was going on in this game mode. Please remember to Google it first before you enter it, because otherwise you'll be stupid and you'll punch a box thinking that it's gonna open like it's Ark Survival or a looting game or something. Started just traversing the bayou, and I really loved the fact that it wasn't punishable. Go in with a free hunter, you don't need to buy anything, it's always random gear. When I started running into hunters though, I just started getting absolutely destroyed. Before, I could only get something done using a certain set of weapons, but when you gave me something random, I was completely useless, on top of everything else that is wrong with me, right? That being said, it helped me get comfortable with the mechanics, you know, and helped me get comfortable with confrontation, both with PvE and with players alike, which I really appreciated. I was becoming desensitized. I even faced an old foe, not that I did it well, but you know, I was confronting my demons, and I was proud. Even if I died to PvE or something, I knew that nothing bad would happen, so it really helped me just kind of go crazy with it. This is actually a horror game. Mistakes were made, however. A lot of mistakes were made. A few hours into Soul Survivor, I noticed that I started listening for a hunter's footsteps to figure out where they were, which was a big deal for me because it actually helped me get a few kills. That being said, you could not expect me to win this game mode. It's impossible. I'm just not at that level of skill yet. However, overall victory doesn't matter. It's about self-improvement, and I achieved that. For example, because of the weapons that were allocated to me, I found out that I was much more efficient using just a single pistol to take down targets rather than dualies. It's probably just more accurate if I had to guess. I don't know, let me know. So I was a big fan of the pistol, but I also found out that I was a big fan of the bow, which is something I would have never expected. I used to think the people that used the bow were really silly and they were trolling or something. But then I used the bow myself and actually managed to kill a hunter, which is a big deal for me. I also managed to kill dogs using the bow, which if you've seen the video that I posted before this, you know is a huge deal for me. But if you want to be more acquainted with what weapons work best for you, a little bit more than what Soul Survivor has to offer, then the shooting range is a wonderful option. Somebody suggested this to me in my comments, and I went in right away and I tried fanning for some reason, and it was so much fun. And I thought that, oh, you know, there's no way that I could lose if I brought this into a game. It's just absolutely impossible. I mean, look how fast I'm shooting. It just can't happen. Well, I was completely wrong, because apparently you need to be right up in their face for fanning to work. And this just goes to show that, you know, you need experience to be able to do things right. No exterior game mode is going to help you. A real confrontation is what will help you learn the best, and that's just the way it is. After that, I still played around in there for a while, you know, tried dualies, different weapons whatsoever, and I found another favorite, actually. It was the Springfield, which was really unpredictable for me because you can only fire a single bullet at a time, which as somebody that regularly forgets to reload, was really risky. For some reason, it just really clicked with me, and I'm not sure why, and I wouldn't have found it, and I wouldn't have realized that it was good for me if I didn't go into the shooting range, so give it a shot. On the topic of aim, however, it was suggested to me that I go do some trials, which I believe there's a sniper trial and there's a wave trial for aggro. I went into a sniper trial so that I could practice my aim. And you know, it was really difficult. I could only get 2 stars, and I tried really hard to get 3 stars. I tried so hard. While this game mode was really fun, but it requires an element of strategy, and it kind of felt like a mini game. It was its own self-contained fun time, and I really wanted to beat it. And I am not that confident being a sniper. You know, after all that training, I was feeling really confident, right? I was like, I'm gonna go on into the bayou, I'm gonna be the queen of the bayou, I'm gonna take it over, no one's gonna survive. I felt like that's it, I had it all figured out. So I went in, I had a free hunter to try to reduce the panic on myself, and you know, it's not that I wasn't the queen of the bayou, because technically in my heart I was. It's just that it was just little old me against teams of 2. There was a lack of manpower, you know? Not only was there a lack of manpower, but I noticed really quickly I had a huge problem with dealing with aggro. I couldn't quite get used to the knuckle knife, right? Like, you see me over here struggling. I was like, why were people recommending this knuckle knife so much to me? Don't yell at me yet. Please don't go comment. Wait, just wait. I'll explain, okay? I figured it out eventually. For now, shush. Thank you. Main point is I was really struggling with aggro, and I wanted to figure it out. This was the decisive moment, though. This is when I knew that I definitely had a problem and I had to do something about it. So I figured that the best solution to this was wave trials. And I was pretty correct. This taught me a lot. It kind of felt like COD zombies, except imagine like way scarier COD zombies where all the enemies are 1,000 times worse and they don't just like idly swat at you. Instead, they hit you with barbed wire, make you bleed, make you cry, they set you on fire, they make you bleed, they just do everything bad to you. It's terrible. In this game mode, I couldn't get more than 1 star. I really couldn't. That being said, it was indispensable. I feel a real difference after playing it, and I knew how to handle more types of aggro, and guess what? I finally mastered the knuckle knife. I finally mastered it. I realized that I had to heavy attack with it, which I don't know how I didn't realize that before, but once I learned how to heavy attack, everything was fine and dandy. There was no problem anymore. Now with all that knowledge leads to a final consensus, which I'd say that all these things that I've done to try to improve made it so I was better at handling aggro, I was better at killing hunters, and I knew what weapons I liked, which was great, because it meant that I could have more fun playing by changing up my playstyle. In general, this whole experience made me like the game more because I understood it better. There were still times I made really big mistakes, because there were a lot of firsts for me. There are still some bosses I haven't tried to kill, for example, and my movement and decision making really needs work. I'm going to continue trying to improve, and in the meantime, and if you want to see how that goes and see a little bit of behind the scenes, or just watch me improve in general, you can follow my Twitch, which I'll put up on the screen right now. Overall, I think the most important consensus, as this one commenter said, is that I should have yeehawed more. And then everything would have been fine.